feeling where you want to get so much done that you bolt out of bed, grab your drink of choice, and then just stare blankly until it's time to go to bed again because you spent your whole day doing something totally unrelated to what you set out to do. Because you got distracted, well, no worries. I'm here to give you a little bit of insight into my flexible planning style. And it really only takes 4 major steps, but be sure to stay until the end because I will be giving a little extra insight into how to make it more your own style rather than just my planning style, because everyone is different, so everybody plans differently. Just in case you were curious, I'm going to show you the supplies that I like to use. I am a kinesthetic learner and memorizer, so handwriting does wonders for me rather than just typing by text. Something about the motion of writing. So I plan traditionally in a planner. I got this one off of Amazon. It's just an essential daily planner. If I can find the link of where I bought it, I'll put it down below in the description. This one needs no introduction. The standard Bic 7mm pencil. Yes, I do like 5mm better. Most people do, but these are cheap and I like the way they write. I'm getting a new case, but for now, this is what we're working with. I like colors, so I want to make sure that I have some standard colors. I have just a blue and a pink. It just came from the junk drawer, so don't even bother with the brand. Just find pens you like. And I also have the Crayola signature markers used for artists. I got them as a Christmas present a while back, and they're glittery and shiny, so they're fun, and I like to have a lot of colors, and we'll get into how I color code in a little bit. Extra things that you don't need, but I use a calorie tracker app, which I'll put in the link in the description. I love it because you get to fill up an apple. Calorie tracking is not for everyone. Full disclosure. I am totally aware. For some people, it will develop bad eating habits and eating disorders. So if you feel like you're going to do that, please don't listen to this. But if you feel like it will help you in planning your day and stuff like that, please, I recommend this one. I just use the free version because I'm cheap and broke. And then I also use a habit tracker app to make sure that I'm staying on top of all my daily needs, because I'm not really going to put these in my actual daily planning or weekly or monthly planning. These are just things that I want to make sure that I track over time. I did pay like the $5 fee for this one because it was a one-time purchase. I'll put the link in the description below. I do have an Android, so I don't know how it works on Apple devices, but I assume it's very similar. A little bit on food planning, because I know that's a huge portion of the day for a lot of people. If you do use a calorie tracker app or just like a food tracker app, you can input what you're going to eat in the day ahead of time. So again, you don't have to think about what you're going to eat in the future. You will just already know. Which leads us right into why it's important to plan, because it takes so much of your creative and mental energy that if you have to do it every second of the day, you're going to spend so much of your time just planning your day that you never get around to actually completing your day until you're asleep again. If you can set aside time to plan, it is very important that you plan as much as you can, so that way you can get as much as you want done. And of course, all these tips are just what works for me. So if it works for you, great. If not, I hope you enjoyed listening. Without further ado, let's get right into it. Number 1, start with separating your goals. I like to color code them, so that way when I do go into my planner, I will know what I'm doing at a glance. If I show you real quick, you can already see that I can kind of tell what I'm going to be doing every day. Some things are going to happen every day, but for now, I'm actually planning like week by week. I'm not doing everything at once. But you want a way of separating your goals, especially if you're someone like me who has a huge list of goals that you want to hit, which means you're going to have so many different things that you're working on. For example, I want to learn to sing and I want to learn Korean, and I'm learning to dance even better than I have before. I'm working out. I'm making sure that I eat at my proper meal times. And of course, I have to film content, edit content, post content, and I'm a writer, so I have to set aside time to write. And then also I am a college student, so therefore I need school time. I try to work in all of my medical appointments, hanging out with friends and family, all that kind of stuff. So there's a lot to pack. And if I didn't plan it out and didn't separate my goals, I would get a little confused on what to do. So I totally recommend separating your goals. Even if you only have 2 big goals that you're working on that you want to track throughout your week, still I recommend separating them. You can also, if say you only have 1 big goal, separate them out into separate miniature goals. That way you can tackle it, if that makes sense. All right, number 2, make a checklist of everything you're going to be doing. I have a separate notebook for this. And the reason why is because you separated all your goals, right? Now it's time to figure out what all of those sub things you need to hit so you know exactly what you're going to have to do to get to your big goal. First, list the big goal for each one of your separated goals. Then underneath, you're going to start listing the things that you need to do to accomplish this goal. Sometimes you might have to list timelines. For my writing section, I said I want to be finished with draft 1 by December. Then get ready to send out to readers by February, for example. Other ones are just step by step. For example, my singing, I know that I'm going to have to learn this, and this in order to get better and practice at these times. For me, I found I sing better after I eat, so I make sure I'm going to plan it there. All the little notes that you know you're going to have to plan out. And you only have to do this once, really, unless you add another goal. So don't get overwhelmed that you're going to have to do this every planning session. And with this, you're setting your long-term goals and your yearly goals and maybe some monthly goals or skill goals. Nitty gritty, like day by day, just overview. Step number 3, at a glance. What this means is the monthly part of your calendar. So if you're using a virtual calendar or a handwritten calendar, there's usually a way to look at it monthly. You already have your color coding if you wanted it or however you're separating it. So now it's time to list things out at a glance. With the calendar I got, I made sure that it had a side where I could list the important things that I want to do. So before I end up putting into my monthly calendar. All right. There's 4 things that I make sure to list first. 4 is like my magic number. First of all, any big dates, like things that you're like, I know this is going to happen at this time. For example, school starts on that day. I have that coming up, so I had that listed. That's a big date. Events, like my mom's birthday is also coming up, so I make sure I listed that. Any fixed meetings or appointments. So if you're like, I know I'm going to the doctor's on this day, I'm going here then, I have a meeting with my counselor, I have whatever it is, list those so you make sure when you start to plan, you already can see like, oh, right, if someone calls me up, can I hang out that day? I can look at my calendar and be like, nope, I am seeing my doctor that day. And I really have other things I'm doing throughout that day, so it's going to be really hard to squeeze it in. So maybe just put it off for another day. Or you'll be like, well, it won't really take that long because it's that kind of appointment, so yes, if that makes sense. And then, of course, deadlines. Any deadlines that you have for yourself, especially if you're trying to set your own deadlines, if you have deadlines from school, anything like that. So like I have an honors program deadline that I have to commit to. And then I also set myself a deadline to make sure my 40,000 words are done by a specific day so I can keep on track with my goal of finishing by December, if that makes sense. So any deadlines. That's really all I put in the overview section. Section number 4, the big one, the one you've probably been waiting for. Weekly and day by day. They kind of go together. So the way I am trying to do it is I'm figuring out what routine works for me, especially since school hasn't started yet. I have more time than I will then. So I'm using these next couple weeks to figure out what I like. And if you have a lot of different goals, you may want to break them up by weeks and be like, this is the big focus. This is the big focus. And then you can alternate them through, or you can just do them every week and just have a little bit every day or alternate days, whatever works for you. I'm trying things out. I'll let you know when I figure it out. If you are in a workout regimen, this is definitely the place where you're going to list what you're doing every day. So if like today's leg day, tomorrow's cardio day, whatever it is, whatever your list is, if you're more interested on a fitness routine, let me know. Not what this video is about, but you're going to list the things that you want to do. There's 2 different ways of doing this. There's the hourly or minute by minute planning style or the overview style. I'll go over the overview style first because it's easier. It's literally the same thing that we did before, but you're just going to list what you're going to do that day. For example, I'm doing legs today. I'm going to work on breath control. I'm going to analyze a song. I'm going to learn a dance and start detailing it. I'm going to email my honors contract counselor. I'm going to film some videos. It's just overview and you can check them off as you go. But I find that doing the hourly works for me best. So I'll show you a little bit of what that means. I put at 7 a.m. I wake up. I'm gonna have to start waking up earlier than that, but for now it's 7 a.m. because it's summer. Then I do my workout. I eat my breakfast. Yes, I do my workouts with no food in me. Then I'm going to work on my school and film tasks. I put school because it's not going to take that long, but then I'm going to start filming. And then I'm going to eat lunch at 12. And then singing practice and Korean, I'm putting them together because I haven't decided how long each one's going to be yet. But I'm going to make sure I'm done around 2:30. And then I'm going to have a snack during that time. And then I'm going to start setting up to dance between the hours of 3 and 8. I'm doing a really long dance session today. Like I said, this week is focused on dance, and then dinner, and then I leave the next hour for getting ready for bed and sleeping. I hope that comprehensive example helped. So if you are curious, you are welcome to try out my planned week. If you ever do that, let me know. I would love to see how someone tackles my same schedule. So for weekends, I don't generally plan hourly because they're my weekends, but I still set my goals for those days. I usually have a meal prep day, and that same day will be my planning day because you have to make sure you set aside time to do this again, to plan out your week. Your month and everything else will already be planned. You only have to do that like once a month, and then every week you'll go through the weekly. You're welcome to fill out all of your weeks, but I know that my weeks change from week to week, and some weeks I'm like, oh, I want to make sure to squeeze in time to hang out with my friends because they just texted me and we can do that. And if I had already set up my whole month, I'm going to cry because I work in Penn. Just in case you got lost, we're going to wrap this video up with a short little summary. Step 0, before you start, have whatever supplies and everything you need so you don't have to worry about it while you're planning, whether that's digital or traditional. And step number 1, separate your goals and set them to colors and color code if necessary. 2, you're going to state your goals and all the little subsections of the goals to make sure that you are going to hit your target when you want to and get the skills you want to get. 3, your at-a-glance schedule, so your monthly schedule to make sure that you have your big events, any appointments, any deadlines, anything important for your month. Last but not least, step number 4, we have our weekly or day-by-day, hourly, and overview planning, where you're going to set up your week, set up your hours, what you're going to do every day, and the goals of those planned sessions. That about does it for this video. Thank you so much for watching. And if you're curious about me and my weeks, I update my life in a journal log. You should check out this playlist, wherever it's going to be, if you're curious about me and what I do in my day-to-day life. Thank you so much for watching. Bye!